Alright, welcome back to Hearts Fire and 4 Millennium Dawn modded playthrough of Colombia. I thought I'd be able to pop it up. There it is. It's all the way at the top. We've taken over all of Central America for the most part, except for Belize and El Salvador, sorry. I was marking down the capital there. We are working on influencing El Salvador. Let's see what we are a major power now, which is cool. So that's pretty neat. We're going to go ahead and fight our way to be a great power. We are expanding our labs. We still don't even have 70% influence. Our own influence. That is an interesting position to be in. All right, well, Ecuador. We need to bring that into the fold. We still have a fuel problem. So, with all the new factories we got from Mexico, we did end up crushing our fuel situation. So let's go ahead and stop this. This is a waste of production. Not doing anything. Doesn't actually build when they're flagged like that. And then let's get down here. All these fuel ones need to be deleted as well. Clean up our build queue. Uh-oh. There we go. Alright. Yeah. So we're building offices. We're building power plants. Let's see what we're sitting on. We have enough fuel. I think we have like $7 trillion in the treasury there. If I'm not mistaken. Let's just go ahead and build. They don't want. What about Canada? Canada's cool. I don't know what's wrong with the US, but Canada's chill. See, Greenland. Look at that, Denmark. Denmark's chill. Norway's also probably chill, right? Norway is chill. Sweden. They like money. Alright. We'll just go with that. I'm going to need to do a review of what our options are here. Civilian infrastructure or industry. We can get a 20 stack there in the center of our nation. We're building there. This is only 11. That's not even any good. Office sectors. Kind of on the edge here would be fine. And along the coast, I think we're actually fairly alright. I need naval yards in all of these places, except for that. That I need offices. Anywhere where there's under 10, I think I want offices. Just because they don't have enough, like, infrastructure to do anything. Okay. And then let me bump up civilian industry. I'll bump up this where there's very few offices, and then nuclear power is getting bumped up. All right, we'll go with that for now. And we have modern defensive systems done. Explosive reactive armor is not going to help. Definitely need guidance and engines. Let's go ahead and get that research started. All right, influence. Go ahead and pay it forward. Yeah, so we're probably in an energy deficit. I need more nuclear facilities. The center of this isn't really totally defendable, right? Because we can just get naval invaded and lose all this. But it is away from like a land invasion. So like here is a tile back. That's pretty cool. The center of Mexico is probably fine too. But all of these are border territories. If we get attacked, we'll lose them. So let's go ahead and just make sure we're making 4 nuclear power plants right now at a time. Agent got captured in Brazil. So let's get him set up. Go ahead and rescue with her. Where's our recruits? All right, yeah, we're getting the training done. Go ahead and let that roll through. Fuel refining's nearly done. 6G is almost done, so we'll have another research slot free up. We're going to get another research slot as well. Space program. How far away are we? A year out? Yeah, pretty much a year out from SpySats and the orbital launch vehicles. Japan integrates Russia. What? Oh, wow, that's Japan. That is not the UK. That was actually Japan. That's funny. That's so far away from ending their supplies, though. That's going to be crazy. All right. Finishing rail lines. Should have some pretty nice rail lines built here. Yep. I wish we had more of our rail network built out for the fight with Brazil, but I got all the order mixed up and all changed around now. That's on me. All right, let's go ahead and do the influence side of that. Still short a ton of power. Honestly, let's go ahead and get our first set released, and then I need 20 units there. Alright, so we'll get this guy, assign them a commander. It really doesn't matter who. If they have infantry, it's better. So let's get that guy. We're just gonna assign... Not there. Right up there. Strategic bomber. Okay. 5th gen medium frame. All the way. So we just want bodies to hold the defense, so they'll go ahead and entrench. And then we want 20 spare units that we're going to add to this other army group. Perfect. And when does this fight start? 7th of May. So 5.5 months. We'll be going to war with Brazil. And then we need to figure out if we're going to go for the United States that quickly, or if we're going to go and finish unification of South America, which I think we should do the unification of South America first. Because we're going to get Ecuador, Brazil, and Paraguay from this combat. Alright, freed up a research slot. That is going to go into artillery research. I want to get just the first level of mobile artillery. Air defense would work. 2. Yeah, and then we almost have 6 million barrels of fuel. That's pretty good. How's our power situation? We're barely holding on. Yep, and we're working through the factory situation pretty quick. So that's still scaling up. About to get bad for power. We're going to go back negative very rapidly. How's our unemployment rate? 26%. So we do have a little bit of work we can do there. 320 million. So we have equivalent population with the United States. I meant to click here. And who is... So Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, and Bolivia are all going to be problems. Nice, so we got that research slot. Could early research this for the pop growth, but we really don't need it. Kind of hit or miss. Missile tech would be nice. That would be a real nice thing to have before we fought the US. No doubt. Ugh, yeah, see, I knew our power situation would go freak out on us. That's sad. Hmm. Just right as even as you could be. Hmm. Even though we're -4, I guess, gigawatts. Even though it's not like a real indicator. It's too simplified. Let's go militarism and just start working down that, finishing that tree out before the war. Go ahead and get that 10% division attack. That'll help a ton. Let's check our production lines. I want to see where we're at. We're making almost 3.5 planes a week. We're short on light metals still. What did I get for taking Mexico, even resource-wise? More oil and a ton of steel. Tech metal. The steel is huge, though. I could start doing naval production to some extent. All right, let's move out of that. Let's check over here. So Brazil will give us oil, light metals that we need. Ecuador gives us oil. Wow, do we need Bolivia for that? Their oil. No longer have bureaucratic drain. That is nice. And we are kind of fighting through our power deficit. And it is definitely a fight. That's pretty good. Getting those rail lines up all the way up here. All right, where is El Salvador? Bump that a little bit. We're going to have a lot of territory to annex here. I wonder about land forts. Yeah, I could upgrade these. Definitely could get some more defensive bunkers along our borders. Especially in depth here. All right, let's get that going. Yeah, and they don't have any supply lines. That's crazy. Absolute insanity that they think they can guarantee everyone in South America. The bold move. And these are a bunch of airfields I can build, but they're really gonna help. I don't really have the planes to make use of this. I'm gonna bump these down. Fuel, we've got plenty of fuel stockpiles. Navy's not gonna help us here. Network is what it is. That would be nice. Resource gains, ports, more rail lines I need. That's tough. Hmm. Please, Brazil, attack me. Please be bold enough to do it. Like, I want the smoke. The dictator, Augustine, Bolivian. Or is it Bolivian? He wants all of it. Not our business. Recruiter poll population factor going up is going to be interesting. I'm curious if that'll affect our employment or not. Shouldn't, but I'm curious. Thorium fuel's done, so that's a power bump. A huge power bump. Yeah, that was big. That was actually big. We are about to run out of offices here in the Amazon. So I'll have to look at moving some of those up in production queue. We do have enough nuclear fuel, though. So that's pretty cool. And then how many days on this? 5 more days. So somewhere between... I don't know if I'll finish it right away, but I should be able to finish pretty soon after the start of the war. Yeah, and we got the cartels still doing things. All right, we got backdoor access done that we need. All right, militarism did finish. We want Revanchism. I don't know. But it'll be 2.5 months from now. Panama Canal Authority is pretty nice. 10% build speed bonus. Isn't to be underestimated. So maybe it lowered it. I don't know. Who knows? any case, are finishing up a lot of rail lines. Offices and nuclear power plants, so military-wise, I don't know how this will go. I definitely think I do need all these forces, so let's go ahead and get them added in. We'll cancel production there. So that'll go into Army Group 2. We're going to go ahead and... Wait, did he not? Okay, he did get put in a position. Cool. What does this do? Youth losing faith. I don't know. We just spend all our money on whatever that is for no reason. I don't like that, but we're gonna do it. And let's go ahead and get Army Group 2 here with a proper group allocation. And fix this. There we go. All right, drones from 2005. So these are 2015. Probably need more research anyway. Go ahead and put pressure on them. Let's see, where are our aircraft? Let's get them at least in the right region. Bombing there, and then that's in range. Go ahead and do air superiority here. Looks like our airfield is too small, so I'm gonna move these planes out of there. And I don't know what's going on with that. That looks like it's an airdrop situation. So it is what it is. All right, so we got decent rail lines to most areas. The far south is a weakness. So this part is a problem. Go ahead and get some sort of semblance of supply lines going here. I don't like that. So, some sort of redundancy. And supply hubs. Definitely need supply hubs along this border with our enemies. Yeah, it's better than nothing. Gen 1 ammo. Let's get that on order. Army Group 2, Army Group 3. Need more units. A lot of these rail lines all the way up to Guatemala are finishing up. We should be getting size 6 rail the entire way to the north. Let's check. Yeah, because we need to get our coastline built out for any future wars with America. It would be in our best interest. At least have our borders fully supplied. Gonna need at least something like that. Wait, did I miss anything? I don't think I have anything missed there. And we've got good supply here. Actually, already. That's pretty cool. In the middle of the Amazon is some of our better supply routes. Yeah, we've got defense in depth. I'd probably want a supply hub here as well. But can't win it all. Either here or here. Be nice. Alright, got barrel conversions. I'll start working on regular base artillery units and pieces. Ooh, here we go. Alright, moment of truth, guys. Moment of truth. For the playthrough. We're gonna start immediately. If they attack us, we're gonna counterattack. Cool. Let's do it. Does not look like Brazil is going to help Ecuador. They're just gonna let that happen. Which is actually really good for us. If they're not gonna move, I'm going straight for Bolivia and Chile. Like, I'm gonna go for Chile first, move through Argentina, and then extend our front. Because it looks like they don't care. Looks like we're doing fine. We've compressed everything down. And just attacking and assaulting from the center of the front. That is a large stack of units, though. That just got pushed off that mountain. I was expecting Brazil to jump in and save them. Gotta choose your allies better, Brazil, or Ecuador. Should have just joined us peacefully. It's unfortunate. Alright. Yeah, it looks like we're just compressing them down and we're gonna be able to take everything we want. Let's see, what can I get with army reform? This bumps my military spending. Let's boost base war support. Let me go ahead and get Air Force reform. I don't really need it or anything, but it's gonna matter. All right. Me getting Ecuador out of the way makes any kind of fight with Brazil way easier. Because I don't have to worry about getting attacked from two fronts. Infinitely easier. Alright, so they capitulate. We're going to go ahead and puppet the entire thing. Confirm. So we will get the island and that other territory. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. We're going to do suppress subjects. And let's get our construction for Ecuador built out. This one territory there. Get some airfields. And definitely need some radar stations. And if we can, strategic fuel reserves, I guess, would be okay. Let's get it going. Not our business. All right, with Ecuador capitulating like that, Brazil, yeah, so definitely start a war declaration against Chile. Guyana and Suriname are definitely on the watch list just because that extends like my ability to attack this airfield. The reason I want Chile though is tech metals. The crazy amount of tech metals. That was pretty quick. Just realized it's time to end the episode where we're at. As far as Ecuador goes, we're gonna get 8, 20 million, 27, almost 30 million people added to our populace. Not bad. Let's see what we got. Economy wise, GDP, we're solidly in third. China is catching the United States. Have they made moves anywhere else? They have not. So that's pretty interesting. And we actually have more offices. That's crazy. Territory. We have moved into third. Industry wise, we're in third now. Solidly in third. Sebastian. Nice. We'll go ahead and get fully autonomous fighters if we can. We cannot. Let's go ahead and expand the labs then. That's rough. That's really rough. All right, logistically, what are we sitting on with all our captured equipment? We've got about 250 air superiority fighters now. It's nowhere near enough to counter Brazil up front. So we're not even going to try. Let's annex. Get closer to the annexation. Equipment-wise, we do have a fair number of transport helis now. We could probably add that back into some of our military units and divisions. We'll just have to figure out what we want to add it to. Have a fair number of main battle tanks that we've captured. We haven't made any. So, those are all captures. Bunch of small arms. Yeah, we've got stuff. Not good stuff. Not bad, like terrible stuff, but stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch everyone on the next episode. We're gonna go for Chile, probably Argentina, and Bolivia, because that'll give us a front directly on Paraguay, and we can attack Brazil from the south. That'll change our calculus as far as what our plans will need to be and anything like that. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.